All right, welcome back. This is Candidate Conversations. Now, you know what we've been doing throughout the election season, everybody. I sit here and I have the coolest job in showbiz because I get to talk to the Guamanians that want to serve you as members of the 37th Guam legislature. Only 15 seats are available, and there are now 15 Republicans, 15 Democrats. So you've got some choices to make, but that's why we're here, and that's what we do. Joining me on the KUM couch today, very graciously, Senator Pedo Terlaje. Senator, we did not have the pleasure of speaking to you the first time around, so it's always good to see you.
Well, I just got back from Hawaii.
Oh, very nice.
I was there for like 3 months. I had, heart surgery over there, so I miss a whole lot of show.
Okay, well, we hope you're recovering very, very well.
I am.
And you had spring in your step when you were walking in here.
6 months to recover.
Okay. Well,
And 3 months, 4 months have passed already, so.
Excellent.
2 more months.
Oh, very well. Well, there's about 2 more months until the general election,
Yes.
so we know you're going to be strong. So, Senator, we wish you the best of health.
Thank you.
Joining us and wearing an amazing shade of Republican red is Republican candidate Bistra Mendiola. The shoes, the dress, the lipstick, everything.
Representing the party.
There you go.
There you go.
The place that you finished, I'm sure, who wouldn't want to, finish higher and everything, but a very, very respectable finish. We're going to talk about campaign strategies going forward. How satisfied were you with your first campaign experience?
I am very grateful to actually have been given that opportunity to finish the primary, above the 15. It's kind of hard for newcomers, especially people who are not known. They don't belong to a family that has served for a long time. So I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised, and I can't thank enough all the people that gave me their vote of confidence.
And you did very well, and we wish you continued success heading into the November 8th general. Well, not to be outdone, wearing Democrat blue.
That's right.
And a very nice shade. and a Sanahi, which Senator Josen Agustin, I can only imagine weighs at least 6 pounds?
No, just a little bit.
Okay, well, aside from all that weight you bear on your neck, a lot of weight is now lifted off your shoulders, I would say, now that the budget, should we consider the budget having been the budget crisis? No, I don't want to say crisis.
The budget passed. There are quite a few of them that didn't vote for it, but they contributed to it. And that's shameful. I mean, don't contribute if you don't intend to pass it.
Very true.
Participate, stay with the flow, but they didn't, and that's their choosing.
Okay,
but it's done, and Senator Pedo now has time to recover.
Absolutely. And the one thing of course, I ask you this all the time, Senator. Did you already go to King's, or as soon as you're done with this show, are you going over to King's?
Good question, but I'm going to wait for the wife. She's the queen.
And Senator Josen Agustin has just earned a bunch of votes from the female constituency, so very well. Okay, so we're going to do what we did last time, and we'll start with Senator Pedo Terlaje. Right. Senator, that's your camera right there, and you have 60 seconds to address the community directly.
First off, my name is Bistra Terlaje, also known as Pedo. I'm running as a senator for the 37th Guam legislature. Let me just put on the background of starting this political career. First off, when I started out with the Guam Police Department, I worked there, and then from the Guam Police Department, I got drafted into the U.S. Army. Right after that, I went to Vietnam in 1968. I spent a year in Vietnam, and then I got transferred reassigned to Okinawa. I stayed there for 3 years, and right after Okinawa, I came back to Guam. I was reinstated with the Guam Police Department, and then when Joe Ada became governor, he appointed me the director of civil defense. So I transferred out of there, and then after civil defense, by tour of civil defense, I became I ran for mayor, and I won. So I was mayor for 2 terms.
All right, absolutely. And Senator, of course, you've got a very long record of public service. I just wanted to ask you before we go to Bistra, what was your what was your job when you were in the service? What was your MOS?
Actually, I was with the security.
Okay.
Security
forces.
At one time, I was assigned over to the account department, the finance department. But I don't want to deal with numbers. So I asked if I can be transferred. So I handle those people that went AWOL in the military. So I was in charge of that processing.
Oh, okay.
So I stayed there for 3 years.
So you put down the financial tables in the calculator and pick up a rifle and stand a post.
I
There
don't
you
like
go.
to do with numbers.
Very well. You got a former quartermaster here too in Senator San Agustin. All right, Bistra. Once again, that's your camera, and you have 60 seconds if you please.
Hafadingwa, my name is Bistra Mendiola. I'm a Republican, number 13 on the Republican ballot. And first and foremost, I want to thank everyone that contributed to me being here today because I passed the primaries. Yes! Thank you so much for your vote of confidence again. I decided to run for the next legislature because I want to promote a lower cost of living on island. I will do anything possible. I will rally together with all branches of the government, including the Congress representative, whoever that might be this next time. Also, I want to ensure that we have a great food security by supporting our agricultural movement here. Even the backyard development of gardens is very important for us to ensure that we have stock, pretty good stock. And thirdly, I just want to bring more economic development. As a small business owner, I have fresh ideas I can bring in and help our island to simply become a better place to live and work.
All right, very well, Bistra, thank you. May I ask, did you receive any feedback from the last time you were here on our show from the private sector about some of your ideas for economic diversity?
Yes, it was a tremendously positive feedback that I received, and a lot of people felt that what I was talking about and was something that is doable and is very important. And it is, because we're already seeing the worldwide global food shortages, supplies. This year it's a logistical issue, but I'm hearing from the economy specialists, people that are political analysts, people that are in agriculture. I'm hearing very alarming sounds that next year we may have an actual food shortage because the war with Ukraine and Russia is shorting the nitrogen supplies.
Yeah,
so.
I got to tell you, I've never heard the phrase food security until this year, and I've heard it so many times. And these are learned experts, people that think 3-4 years down the road, and they said that is a very pressing issue. So perhaps we'll talk about that some more. But I want to give Senator San Agustin his 60 seconds. Senator, you can talk about what it's like to ride a Harley, or your own history of public service and just being a Guamanian.
Well, Jason, my name is Joe Shimizu San Agustin, and I'm also number 13, but on the Democrat side, the blue side. So, and what we're promoting is I'm the 13th warrior. You watched that movie.
Ah, yes.
Okay, so I'm the 13th warrior on the Democrat side, and first I want to recognize my wife. I'm happily married to Joanne Babalta Chargla from Santa Rita. We have 3 children, and we have 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grand. And then
how many bank accounts do you have?
We have 1 good account.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Write checks
for 11 grands, that's necessary.
Yes, and then back with me, I'm a graduate of JFK. I'm a student from the public school system. Okay, I'm a graduate from JFK. I joined the Army Reserve in 1977, and then after that, when I was in the police department, also a former police officer. I used to work for Senator Pedo Terlaje before back then. I mean, I'm that young, versus Senator Pedo. But that's okay. We're still together as one. And moving along, and then I was on the Board of Education. And then I was, when I worked at Revenue and Tax after I retired, after 20 years, I worked at Revenue and Tax as an assistant criminal tax investigator. So when we're talking about money, I think I got a good grasp of it. Okay,
real quick question, Senator. I have never known you, as long as I've had the privilege of interviewing you, without the mustache. How long have you been growing that?
Oh, ever since the military. And it just keeps changing colors. It's just turning white. That's all. That's the only difference.
I was going to say, no, seriously, I've never known you to not have the mustache, but it's a very nice mustache. For those of you out there in the voting constituency, if mustaches do it for you, give Senator Joe San Agustin a look.
Yeah, and if you need to relax, get on a Harley. That's the way to do it.
There you go. Okay, you just earned a few more votes, not only from the females, but also from the Harley community. But all right, guys, let's talk about island politics and some issues right now, and we'll start with Senator Pedo. Senator, the number of homeless on our island seems to have increased, as it's just so clearly visible on almost every street corner now. You see somebody, they may be panhandling or asking for money or donations. They've got their children in hand. How would you like to address this if the people...
Thank you for that question, but by definition, when you talk about homelessness, you're talking about people that don't have homes. So I think the remedy to that, to satisfy the situation on homelessness, is to what I plan to do as a senator with the 37 Guam legislature. What I want to do is set aside 2% of any tax program and save that and start building homes for these homeless. That's the only way we can remedy the homeless situation on Guam. You know, that's the only way I know. And if I make it for the 37 Guam legislature, I would do that. I would introduce a bill where we can get at least 2% on any tax program and save that money and start building homes for these people, and even apartments. That's the only way we can resolve the problem on homelessness.
All right, thank you, Senator. Bistra, I'd like to ask you the same question. Homelessness, obviously, a very pressing issue. I mean, it's heartbreaking, it's embarrassing, it's frustrating. You also get kind of like what they call, you know, like a survivor's paradox, because you're like, why am I here, like in a car, sitting in air conditioning, going to a job, and yet there's somebody over here who is, you know, humbling themselves, asking for a handout. So, if elected, what will you do to solve this problem?
I did perform a little bit of research. What's already on the books that can be changed? Currently, as far as I understand, we are not allowed to build separate buildings like a granny flat or in-law guest house on certain zone lots. And I did see a legislation introduced this last legislation that I would want to reintroduce, just to allow all those people that already have a home that want to build so that their children can move in there, or their elderly parents, so that they can share that cost of the mortgage servicing or the power bill. Because right now the rental prices are the ones that are driving that market to extinction. Basically, there's a lot of people who can't afford to pay the rent. Mortgage rates are going up. We can't do anything about it. That's one thing. Reintroduce that bill. And then, of course, we do have Chamorro Land Trust and ancestral lands. That process needs to be improved in my mind, because I spoken to someone that already has a property, and they were basically giving the runaround. They had to resurvey the land, and the question was why that map is already there on the books. Why they need to go spend. And the problem was that none of the surveys wanted to survey and perform the service. So it's this limbo process. So there are a lot of things that we can do.
That is a very interesting issue, and you know, one that's gnawing at the community. I know from my work in the real estate community is they were like, you have people who have land. Certain public policies right now prohibit you from actually building on land that technically is yours.
Yeah.
Therefore, the property that you do have is on paper is almost worth nothing. So
yeah, I did consult with Gina as well. So
okay.
So I'm
from-
a former realtor as well. So I do have connections to that community, and I'm very much on their side.
All right,
there are quite a few red tapes that we need to simply peel off and remove, forget about them.
All right, well done. Thank you, Bistra. All right, Senator, I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about this, because you are someone who always likes to reach out to the people and get directly involved. So what does it mean to you, just as a Guamanian, as a neighbor, to see people in those positions, whatever their situation is, and then as a policymaker, what can you do to hopefully rectify the situation?
Well, you know, one of the things, Jason, we need to first, and Senator Peter brought it up, and also Bistra brought it up. You know, we have to define homelessness, because when you see folks panhandling, look across the street. I mean, just down the street here from here, big signs saying we're hiring, but somebody are panhandling.
Yes.
And I've spoken to several of them. I've given money to them. I said, why don't you go to public health? I says, you know, when I get a chance, you know, so they can get a SNAP program, so they can get, you know, they can have the Quest card so they can buy food. I said, where do you guys live? I said, oh, we live in the housing. And you know, there is housing, homeless housing available today. The key there is that, and some of them don't want to go there. So, and then what I worry about is, other than when we mention homelessness, when we talk about possible putting aside some of the funds from the tax, well, let's take a look at first where they come from, who they are, and so we know where we're going to put them, and they're willing to go there, because some of the folks that are registered in the homelessness program with the governor's office choose not to live there. Well, then where are you at? They're on the side of the road. And I'm like, wait a minute, we need to change the concept and maybe find a way where we can have homes available in the area where they're at. So they don't have to go to Maiti, they don't have to go to Tumuni. Maybe it's all in Deredu.
Right.
And we need to do something and figure out how we need to work this and deal with the market, the realtors, and find it, because right now in the realtors industry, they're worried about now the H2 workers coming.
It'd be interesting also, Senator, to see like how the mayors like feel like which villages can take on that additional,
and
I don't want to call it burden, but
get staff housing that they used
Right.
to have in each village and have it for the homelessness program.
All
and
right.
then turn this program around.
all right, well,
But
good.
there's also one interesting thing that we never bring up. The real homeless people will be, you know who? The young generation. They're the ones that will not be able to buy their own home because prices
Sure.
and cost of living is just out of whack.
Again, we come back, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you agree as a former realtor. As you know, can you ever really be a former realtor? You've always got it in your heart, but
you always go and check out the
But
real
you know,
estate.
the middle class of potential homeowners has basically like dropped out. You're either really doing well, you know, I'm talking like upper echelon, like military officer or business owner or someone, you can afford a really nice home, or you're not doing so well, but you've got government programs to actually subsidize you. So everybody in the middle kind of like falls out. So.
Always forgotten,
All
the
right.
golden middle.
All right, fantastic thoughts, and we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, your video questions for Senator Pedo Terlaje, Bistra Mendiola, and Senator Agustin, plus our lightning round where we find out the lighter side of the candidates. That's coming right after. All right, candidate conversations continues. Man, I wish the audio would have been live on that live feed you're watching right here on YouTube, Facebook Live, and KUMTV8, because Senator Pedo Terlaje, Bistra Mendiola, Senator Agustin, and I were talking about, of all things, the animal kingdom. We're talking about elephants and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! I'm not kidding, by the way. But that kind of is germane to our first video question, and this one, everybody, comes from our friend Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Surratt, and senators and prospective senators, what are you going to do to address the horrendous dog situation on the island?
Okay, so again, we start with Senator Pedo Terlaje. And Senator, the stray dog situation here on Guam, Jem was even saying it's horrendous. 60,000 stray dogs.
They do have a program where they collect all these stray dogs and send it off island. That's the only thing that I know about stray dogs.
Mm-hmm.
To me personally,
That's the Booney Dog program.
yeah. To me personally, catch them and get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
As far as not send them
because,
off the
we have
island.
thousands of dogs, stray dogs on the island, and there's no program that we can get rid of them, other than probably what they're doing right now is sending them off island, and that's the only thing that is being done right now.
So
But
just to make
that's
sure,
not
are you saying euthanize the dogs, or
the what?
like put them to sleep?
Put them to
Put them
sleep.
to okay,
yes.
euthanasia
You
for
know,
dogs.
it's-
Okay.
We
Just wanna
can't
make
do
sure.
that. Yeah, I guess that's not permitted in our culture. You know, to put them to sleep. But I believe that in order for us to really get rid of the thousands of dogs that roams around the island, I think we need to do something like that. Just
right.
put them to sleep.
All right, thank you, Senator. Okay, Bistra, obviously the scale and scope of this problem, we are greatly outnumbered, and we were talking during commercial break why dogs and cats, you know, have such large litters. You were saying, you know, biologically that's just the way that they're bred, but
Yeah.
we're being overrun, and
You know
that's not
why?
hyperbole by these
You know
animals.
why we're being overrun? Because we have very irresponsible owners out there that just
Mm.
don't take care of that problem. I've seen many dogs that are literally dumped on our street. We had to feed them because our street is pretty much in the jungle. We have a lot of pets around. And we took them in, we took care of them, but we can't take them in. I have personally 4 dogs. So one more that will be a little bit extreme. and you know what to do about the
must spend a
dog
lot on dog
population is a really hard question for me, because I'm a big animal lover. I have cats and dogs and chickens. So I don't want to go to the extreme, but I've seen that none of the programs that have been out there with catch, spay, neuter, and release back into the wild is working, because we continuously have homeowners and dog owners or cat owners that don't do the deed before it's too late.
Right. I know I'm generalizing here, but a lot of people think it's someone else's problem, or those are just stray boony dogs, and like, oh, my dog's okay. But
I think more
good point.
outreach, on our part as a community, and possibly the mayor's offices can partner up just to explain that we're having this problem, and communicate the message. We can't be harboring so many animals. It's actually dangerous. I mean, my husband used to tell me when I was little, I was afraid to go outside and ride my bike because we always got attacked by dogs, and that's we have a lot of kids that are out there. So outreach and possibly even toughening up the penalties for breaking the leash law, because as far as I know right now we do have the leash law on
All
the
right. Well,
books.
Senator Joseph and Agustin, I mean, being from Dededo, like how many dogs are just like roaming around. Fortunately, a lot of them are not of the feral variety where, like they will just outright attack you. I mean, yeah, you walk by, their territory or something they're trying to eat, they may get a little aggro, but what do you think can be done about this?
Well, one of the things we all miss on is that the Department of Agriculture has a animal control section. We may find a way to make sure they're funded, so there's adequate number of officers out there. And then you go after the lease program. The lease or cage your animal, and if not, then get fined for it. So that it forces owners, because I live in Jigo now, Jason, and we have folks that left their animals, their dogs or their cats, and then new owners come, and the first thing they do is they get a dog pail and they put it out and they feed the dogs or the cats. And then they don't claim it. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's a dog pail in front of your house, it's yours. And if they have the Department of Agriculture fully funded to promote that program, and then get GAIN involved, because GAIN, they're in to save animals.
All right.
There's not a problem with that one.
And I just don't understand how we're going to get rid of thousands of dogs.
Yeah, there's no way.
I mean, we've given the responsibility to the Department for Agriculture, but where are they going to put the dogs?
Exactly. Put them
They're
in
going to
sleep.
keep collecting dogs and thousands and 2,000s, and I would think that put them to sleep and get rid of them. That's the only way we can reduce
It's
the numbers.
a very, very harsh solution, but I know that your sentiments are shared by a lot of people, and they're like,
Yes.
it's
I love
just,
dogs too. I got 9 dogs at the house, but
wow. So
we're
four
talking about-
dogs, 9 dogs, Senator. How many do you
No,
have?
we used to have 9 dogs, but they all passed away, and we're not going to put up until we got our gate going in our house so that we can have dogs again. But
There you go.
one of the things we did do was we always tied our dogs. We make sure they're tied. If not, they're in the kennel. It's one or the other, because you have to be a responsible owner.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just as liable as if anybody gets hurt out
You
there.
are complicit. Oh, very good
correct.
point. All right. Second question. This is from Hendrik. So let's go to the video feed.
My name is Hendrik Ivlak, and I am a crime proposal writer. And my question is, do you think the FSM community on Guam can play important roles in the development or organization of our highland?
All right, Senator Pedo. So the topic is, do you believe, and I'm absolutely sure that you do, that the FSM community, our brothers and sisters from the Federated States of Micronesia, can play a critical role in Guam's development?
my friend, I used to own a barracks. I used to own my own construction company. And at one time, I had, FSM, families staying in my barracks. And, these people, you just call them and ask them to help you out. And, they'll go out there and help out. They don't even ask for a penny. They'll just help, or you take them around and ask them to clean on the side of the road. They don't ask for anything else. But I do believe that they can contribute to our situation in Guam.
All right, very, very good, Senator. Bistra, I guess we can all, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that they absolutely do play a critical role in us getting through this together and reestablishing the economy and everything, but how exactly?
Well, they have been doing it already for many years. I've been here for 23 years. I lived right next door to GCC, and over the years I've seen a lot of FSM students come in, attend the trainings, then go out and be skillful at one or the other field. I mean, that is the contribution. When you gain your skill and get back out there in society and start contributing by joining the workforce. Also, they have a large community that gets together and help each other. So not only that they have been doing it. So it's a astounding yes.
Good point. Okay, and Senator, we had a bunch of years after 2010 where there was a rash of crime that unfortunately involved our brothers and sisters from the FSM community, and they got very, very marginalized and everything. But they are part of our island family, and they are very important to us here. So
yes, they are. They've always contributed to Guam. In any group, you're always going to find 10% that you need to bring them in and say, hey, cut it out. But the FSM folks they're just like us, like the Guamanians, like the Filipinos, like everybody else. We need to all just work together. Everybody wants to contribute. When the FSM folks came to Guam, it's like I said, the other nationalities that came to Guam, they're here to make Guam their home. Let's make sure that we all work together as one team, because it's all about Guam. It's not about anything else.
If they are being shortchanged, though, as far as opportunities afforded to them, as a sitting senator, what can you do to actually increase job opportunities, like Bistra said, like skill development, like things like that?
Well, GCC has a program, the boot camp.
Yes.
They have all the different programs that everyone can participate in. The Trades Academy, there's a lot of programs on Guam. People need to just get off the couch, turn off the TV, and go out there, because it's there for you. I mean, we budgeted, the agencies do everything they can, but if folks don't get up and go and ask for it, you know what they say, right? If you knock on the door, somebody will answer it.
Yeah, taking the first step.
Take the step, because we're here to help you.
Go ahead, Senator Pedo.
Jobs also. Some of our own Chamorros here, if you tell them, the rate of pay that they're going to be getting, sometimes they refuse. But the FSM citizens, they'll accept any type of jobs. It doesn't matter how much you pay them.
Because loyalty,
Yeah.
when they get a job, they believe in being loyal to wherever they work.
Yes.
You will find a lot of the FSM folks have moved up the ladder. You see it at King's, you see it at McDonald's, you see it at all the agencies. They go in there, they earn their keep, and they move up. And if everybody starts working in that line of sight,
Very true.
everything will start fixing itself.
All right, very true. So, okay, so our last video question comes to Marcel, and this is a very, very delicate and disturbing topic.
Hello, my name is Marcel, and I'm from the village of Tamuni. My question to the electoral candidates is, what are you going to do to prevent children from being bullied at school?
All right, Tamuning in the house. So we go to Senator Pedo Terlaje, the incumbent. Senator, preventing students from being bullied at school. School's supposed to be your second home.
I think it should start with the home. And start with the parents. Counsel your kids not to do things like that. It must start at the home. Show them that, the discipline, and you shouldn't criticize other people and, bully them because they're not part of you. They're not part of being tomorrow. So it starts at the home. And if the parents are strict enough to just continue telling their kids that this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, just believe in our culture and respect. That's all that you need to do.
All right. Well, Bistra, as a potential policymaker, what can you do from a policy standpoint to curb the very real problem that we have here with bullying?
Well, there are certain penalties out there, even for misdemeanors, that could be contributed to the solution of this problem. I completely agree with Senator Terlaje. It's just a parent's job to educate and teach kids respect, and if they're failing at that, the parents need to also take a course or contribute to community, because that is an issue that will impact not only their child but the other children that are surrounded. So that's probably one thing as a policy. Other than that, again, outreach is very important. Also within the school system, a better reaction to incident also must be enforced.
As a woman, how much does this concern you? I'm sure like a great deal, but like about just children that aren't even your own, just, you know, being mocked, being potentially even like, you know, assaulted, being, you know, put through a lot of emotional trauma and everything, like going through that in school?
Well, as a mom of 2 boys,
Yeah.
I completely understand the concern. And every mom out there will agree with me that all kids are like our own and we feel their pain. So that is a very important issue that we need to address.
Okay, and Senator, your thoughts on bullying in school?
Well, you know, on the bullying in schools, you know, I first, number one is turn to the Department of Education, and then work it from there. And the reason why I say Department of Education is because they're the public sector. The private schools, there's a mandatory, all parents must come to all the parent-teachers conference, everything. They must be able to go there. We need to figure out a way how we can help the Department of Education, the board, because I was on the board for 6 years, on how to change it where it'd be mandatory. Parents who participate on parent-teachers conference, they get to find out from teachers exactly what their kids are doing. Because exactly what Senator Pedo brought up and Bistra brought up, it starts at the home.
Is bullying cause for expulsion? I know John Fernandez, the now former superintendent, was saying, we brought that up before, like when kids were doing like really, really bad stuff, but he goes, you know, we really try and stay away from like, you know, the E word as much as we can, because when you expel a kid, even if they did like something bad, I mean, that stays with them their entire, you know, their entire career.
And all we're doing is we're contributing to the crimes we have in Guam.
Right.
You push them out, then you end up saying, why is he like this? Well, look what they did to him.
But if you're bullying somebody, that's a very heinous crime.
But we need to turn that, because on many occasions, there may have been something that happened to that kid during his life that it caused him to do that, because it starts at home. Remember you mentioned it earlier, it's the second home. So let's make sure the second home is as good as the first home.
Exactly.
And then everything becomes one home.
But we need to revisit the law right now, because I don't think there's any violation in bullying in as far as making an arrest. I don't think there's any law that restrict or a person can be arrested if one person will bully another.
There's no official charge for bullying.
I
Right?
don't
You can
think-
get harassment, terrorizing, but I don't know about bullying.
there's
right?
no charges.
That's a good
There's
point,
no
Senator.
criminal offense on that one. So we probably need to consider making a law regarding bullying. And if you bully somebody, you can be arrested for it. Of course, the school have their own policies that if you bully another person in the school, you can get suspended. But that's about it. But in as far as outside, there's no law regarding bullying. You cannot be arrested for bullying somebody, you know, telling
All right.
somebody, or show somebody your finger, you know. There's no law against that. So what we need to do as a senator is consider working on a bill, and maybe if it passes, then it passes. But there's no law regarding bullying.
That's very
There's
true.
no criminal act on that one.
When we change the harassment law, make it be inclusive of the word bullying.
There you go.
That's how we.
Harassment is
Yeah.
in the law.
Understanding the problem itself is job number one. All right. Good thoughts, all. All right. Please stay tuned, because when we come back, we wrap up with our lightning round. You are going to like what's coming up next. All right, we are back. We are back right now. We are going to talk about some really fun things. You know, each of these senatorial candidates, they're also Guamanians. They're human beings, and they have interests that certainly extend outside the normal realm of being a political candidate. So we are going to give you a snapshot of what some of their interests are, and we start with Senator Pedo Terlaje. Same questions for each of you, and this is a lightning round, right? So we'll go through these real fast. Senator, what is your favorite sweet treat?
I don't know, custard pie maybe?
That's good.
Yeah.
With or without whipped cream?
Without?
Without?
Don't
Okay.
matter. It's sweet anyway.
There you go, straight up. Bistra?
My
You're from Europe, so you've got a very distinct palate.
I do have already one that I miss dearly, and that's my mom's coconut bites. It's something that you don't bake. You kind of make like a dough from it and roll it up in the coconut flour. It's delicious.
Okay, is that on your Pinterest page? Can you
No.
please put it on there, because
I will try.
I would
try
love to
to
get that
find-
recipe.
yeah.
All right, Senator San Agustin, your favorite sweet treat?
Oh, banana ice cream, or if not, a banana split.
There you go. Hey, you get your dairy, you get your potassium.
Yeah, all in one.
Nice combination. All right, Senator Pedo Terlaje, what is your worst habit?
Maybe going to the club without telling my wife.
Whoa. Okay. You have to get permission first, of course. Huh?
I would tell my wife that I'm going to the club, but I'm not going to tell her which club I'm going to go to.
Okay, we're actually talking about like the nightclub, like, you know, like Captain's or, you know, the
You know,
Globe,
sometimes
Onyx,
we-
or just the bar.
Especially during election time, you know, we have this fundraising going on in
Sure.
all the clubs.
Okay.
But that one, I usually would go with my wife. But if it's not in a political year, then I go out my way.
Yeah, you still got to get permission. All right. Bistra, that's hard to top, but Bistra, what is your worst habit?
My worst habit, and my husband will certify what I'm just saying. When I try to talk to him, I kind of extend my story so big that he's always like, you circle around and I still don't get the point, because I try to explain it so well that I get lost in explanation.
So you're saying you can basically talk and talk and talk for
Oh,
hours?
yes.
You're going to make a fantastic senator on that very merit.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully if Senator San Agustin doesn't run over here and give me a black eye, so he'll tell us his worst habit.
My worst habit would be maybe smoking, maybe a bad habit,
Yeah.
but actually managing time so that my wife and I can go out riding on our motorcycle, on our Harleys. That's one of the things we've been trying to do, is trying to find the time, and maybe that's a bad habit. You know, you're trying to find time, but you know, with what we have to do every day, we keep so busy, and the weather doesn't help. But other than that, I would say it'd be cigarette, and I've cut down, and hope to cut it down to the point where I just can throw it away.
Well, you know what they say: the couple that rides together stays together. I
Right.
believe that's the unofficial 11th commandment, Senator. All
That's
right, Senator Pedo, what is your favorite all-time song? Probably playing at the club that you didn't ask your wife if you
Well,
could go
I
to.
do have a favorite song, but it's in tomorrow.
Oh, which one? Casamiento?
No, not Casamento. Malofanao Gifiono. Malofanao Gifiono Jatim Para. You walked by me and you didn't even recognize me. That's in English, yeah.
Oh, but okay. So if the club you're saying you're going to is the karaoke bar, I think you get a pass. All right. Well, we'll talk about that next time. All right, Bistra, what is your favorite song?
Okay, I actually have two, not one. I'm kind of grew up around my sister in the 80s, the late 80s and early 90s. So there was this one gorgeous, gorgeous singer, Karen White.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Debbie Gibson, but
I really like Karen White. Her voice is just so distinct. And my sister was a big fan, so I kind of tackled along. And she made one song that was called Superwoman.
yep.
And that is
Early in the morning.
at your breakfast on your table.
And make sure that the coffee has its sugar and
And
cream.
cream. Oh, wow, there you go. Okay, we speak the same language then.
Okay, okay. I'm not your superwoman, but perhaps Bistra Mendiola is, if you consider her as a senator. All right, Senator, your favorite song. I know you listen to a lot of music.
And that's this. I was just thinking about that. What would be my favorite song? You know what? There's a variety of songs out there. You know, my wife and I go to karaoke, and I'm like, I'll probably mess this up, but I'm gonna leave it alone. There's a lot of songs. There are a lot of it's
I know what you're
geared
gonna
towards
say.
love songs. The wife and I would sing to each other, and I'm trying to remember the name, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
You're probably gonna say "I Can't Tell You Why" by the Eagles, right? I can see
Yeah,
you.
you-
I
you
can
can-
see you. I can see you serenading Auntie with that.
Yeah, because I'm that young. You know,
Yeah.
I can work with that.
All right, Senator Pedo Terlaje, what is your hidden talent?
Actually, my hidden talent is, I grew up teaching martial art. Yeah.
Which one?
I'm a
Karate,
martial-
Kung Fu, Taekwondo, or
Actually, Taekwondo
Taekwondo? Okay.
and Korean karate. I'm
Very
a black
good.
belt in Taekwondo.
Okay.
So, I
Bistra,
don't
you want to change
usually-
places with the
I
senator? Because
don't
I'm in striking
usually-
distance right
I
now.
don't usually show off about the style that I do, but that used to be my favorite. Just going out there and demonstrating and teaching people how to defend themselves.
And there's also a very spiritual side to martial arts,
Yes,
obviously,
yes,
and everything.
yes.
So, all right, very interesting. All right, Bistra, your hidden talents.
I can make soap from scratch.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That is amazing. How long does it take to make a good batch of soap?
Depends on how big batch you want, but
Okay.
if you know how to put together a custard type of consistency, then you can certainly make a soap, and it will take about a month to dry though.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right, Senator, your hidden talent.
Maybe shooting pool, billiards.
Okay.
I love shooting pool.
9-ball or 8-ball?
It doesn't matter.
Whoa!
There's only 6
Challenge
pockets.
accepted.
There's only 6 pockets there.
Okay.
And I don't get into golf because I don't want to look for my balls. I got it on the table.
Okay.
It'll come back to me.
Well, Nestor Leconte was waiting for you on the fairway, I'm sure, if you ever want to go head-to-head with Nestor. Okay. Have you ever played snooker?
No.
The big table.
No. I played billiards on the big table, but you know, it doesn't matter the size of the table. It's if you have the talent to know how to hit the ball.
All right.
Actually, it's only the 2 tables that is out there is
It's
8
6 or 8,
feet and
6 or
9
8.
feet.
Yeah,
That's
Yep.
all the tables that you have.
Very nice. All right. So we thank each and every one of you, Senator Pedo Terlaje, Bistra Mendiola, and Senator Joseph Agustin, for sharing your insight, sharing your ideas, obviously sharing your passion for our island community. And we wish each of you the best of luck heading into the November 8th general election. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason.
All right.
Ladies and
Viva
gentlemen, I
Cuba.
want to say that I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm number 12 on the ballot.
There you go. Oh, Bistra, you're
12 and 13 somewhere.
13.
And George
Bingo.
number
12 and
13.
2 13s. All right, that is going to do it for the Hotspot today. Thank you as always for watching. Have a safe lunch, everybody. Have a wonderful Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.